Hey, you guys, I just did a couple of videos sharing about my friendship with Rosie Clearlight, and in my first video I talk about a little bit about how I met her and what we have in common and all that stuff. And in my last video I talked a little bit about what I know about her life, so which is probably not much. So anyways, if I get any of that incorrect and you know her, I apologize in advance. So anyways, I want to talk a little bit about from the time I came here, as I'd mentioned earlier on, I just felt I was really frustrated with my life and felt like she's the only person who listens to me. That's why I moved up here. So as soon as I came up here, it seems like my life has been getting better ever since I came to stay with Rosie. I mean, we've had some rough patches. We've gone through some hard times and stuff, but I've just never felt more secure, like I don't feel like I'm going to lose, I'm going to end up in the street or anything. I felt like I could totally trust Rosie with my life, and in a lot of ways, I always knew that I was safe here. I never felt like anyone's trying to steal from me or lie or anything like that. It's kind of given me a taste of it's like your home should be a safe haven. It shouldn't be someplace where you go and feel afraid of the people you live with for any reason. So I think that's been a very good experience for me. It's something that I really needed to have happen, and it's not easy to find somebody that you can be that compatible with. And I say that because I've tried living with a handful of different people before I moved up here, right? So um, anyways, so that's when I moved to Big Fork, and that next spring, I got pneumonia and I was starting to get delirious, and it seemed like I was having a lot of psychic stuff. Like I call it a psychic dump. Like it just seemed like, I was going through a really heavy and confusing experience where I had an emotional breakdown, and I just felt I think that I'm so lucky that I had Rosie during that time, because any place else, I wouldn't have had the same amount of support. But she understood what I was going through. Um, she often said that I remind her a little bit of her husband Howard, and sometimes she kind of gets me mixed up with Freya. So I don't know. I don't think that Freya and I are that much alike, but maybe the commonality is I think she had a better relationship with Freya than her other daughters. So maybe she feels a kind of closeness with me that is similar. So it's like the relationship we had was a lot like an adopted daughter. So a lot of people, is that your mother? So but I like to think that Rosie's more of my fairy godmother, right? And I say that because I feel like she supported me in a spiritual way, and that she really does believe in magic in the true sense. However, she might say that she's more of a Zen Christian. They've had quite a bit of involvement with Zen and with her the Vedic arts, which are connected. So, but later in life, her and Howard decided they must be Christian, and she's also an ordained minister. Now, Rosie's not a very preachy Christian, and she's not a Bible Christian. She's what you might call an experiential Christian, but she's somebody that I can talk to about anything and never get this, oh, but that's satanic, Jody, because her understanding is different. So, but at the same time, she's helped me to value the Christian religion just a little bit more than I would otherwise. So, my belief more is so that truth is truth no matter where you find it, and so I don't really want to get attached to any label. But if you're born in this country, that's pretty much the predominant religion, and so if you're going to be American, you're probably going to learn a lot about the religion. So my advice to you would be to study the Bible, at least for the sake of knowing your culture. Now, we had my mom come up and stay with us, and it was a good experience for me because it helped me to get to know my mom in our own isolated way. It's something that needed to have happen in the way that it did. And so I'm very grateful that Rosie gave me the opportunity to do that. And those guys got to be really close friends. So earlier on, I was saying in my visions, when I was a little kid, it seemed as if Rosey was already my mom's friend, so some of that seems to have come true. So that our family is now friends with Rosey. And of course, I only met Howard once, otherwise, we would have been friends as well. And so, anyways, my mom had come, and then she ended up getting her place in the Kalispell, and we ended up moving to Hungry Horse because we had some really bad black mold in that house in Big Fork, so we had to move all our stuff up to Hungry Horse. We had a bad relationship with that landlord. So while we were living in Hungry Horse, we did explore like every bit that we could. But the thing is Rosey had a policy that I can only work someplace that's walking distance, or she's not going to let me just be gone with her truck all day. So it's like I was sort of stranded and broke in Hungry Horse. And then we had to move out of there. So we moved to Blacktail Mountain into this dilapidated old trailer. And we stayed there until that first winter. And then so I went out of town. I just thought I'd take a break from Rosey and go to Denver for a while and work on Kung Fu and stuff like that. So so while I was gone, she got settled in with Gary. And so when I came back, I came to join them. And so the way we met Gary is by joining the Prospectors Club. So we'd already known him for a while, and we spent like the whole summer of like 2012 prospecting while my mom lived with us in Big Fork. And then so I'm kind of glad we went through that. But it's like Rosey kept me unemployed so long, you know. It really made things rough. But I want to talk a little bit about Gary here. I remember a long time ago thinking maybe I'll meet a leprechaun someday. Well, he certainly fits the bill. Gary is a little bit dwarfed by having short arms and legs. And look at the way he does his beard, right? So I have this little dwarf back here as an example. Now, one thing about leprechauns is they're funny guys and they're nice guys, but if you get on their bad side, they'll kick your ass. Now, if you make friends with a leprechaun, you'll find that they'll show you where to find gold, and they will give you gold as a gift. Now, so his nickname has been Papa Smurf. Now, while I'm at it, yeah, this is a piece of jewelry that Sherry's daughter made for Rosey, and so she wore that for the rest of her life. She really loved that very much, and Rosey's an expert. I mean, Rosey's daughter Sherry's an expert in knitting, so that's why I wear this hat. I normally wouldn't wear a pink hat, but it's such a nice one, and it's such a special gift because I'm really happy to think, you know, because Sherry let me know that she really loves me like family, so I feel like I've been adopted by these guys as family. I think I had a visionary slip where my grandma once said, "Jody, you are going from the Smith family to the Smiths family," and well, some of her family members do have the name Smith, so that's somewhat applicable. Now, the other knit piece I wanted to share quick is this one that she made for her mother. It just fits me a little bit too tightly, but I've got lots of nice knit pieces. And that's the mushy love note that Rosey made for Gary. And so, yeah, so we've been living with Gary for about 7 years, and so they both got pancreatic cancer and died this year, and I inherited all of their junk, and so I've been kind of sorting it out and trying to make sure that it all gets taken care of properly. And one of the nice things that I've inherited is her cane, her diamond willow. Now, hold on a minute, you guys. Oh my goodness, I almost lost control of this. Back it out here. Yeah, she gets a lot of nice compliments, so I like to think of that more. It's more of Rosey's magic wand, and I've inherited Rosey's magic wand, you guys. So, since we've come to live with Gary, things have gotten a lot better because, you know, like I was saying, sometimes Rosey makes bad decisions and she's not good with money because she's got some degree of brain damage now. And she may have some other mental conditions that make it hard for her to make really great decisions all the time. But she's been an excellent friend and an excellent teacher. And so I really wanted to take some time to say some praise about my good friend Rosie and how much she's been a part of my life, and I think she's done a lot of things for Gary that most people wouldn't have done. So although she's always had a man in her life most of the way through, he's never had a good relationship with a woman because he says he's always been too funny, you know. It's just hard for someone to take him seriously. So I totally relate to Gary. I'm in the same boat. I'm a little bit too silly, and it's really hard for me to meet the right person. So in a ways, their relationship's very inspiring. Just like that he was able to find somebody significant like Rosie and have someone there to take care of him, help him with all of his silly little problems, you know. And I've been able to help these guys find each other, so to speak. I kind of think if I didn't come to Montana, they wouldn't have met each other. So anyways, I'm very happy to be in the middle of that. I was able, if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't have been able to take Rosie to the prospecting club and meet Gary. And so, you know, it's just amazing how one thing can lead to another and change somebody's life in so many ways. So you guys, Gary and Rosie are like my fairy godmother and my leprechaun. These guys have added a lot of magic to my life in the true sense of what magic means. So I hope you've been enjoying my stories. You guys take care and have a great evening. I'll talk to you next time.